is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
6 games, 6 wins for the Tribe on this homestand. To go a perfect 7 for 7, the Indians will try to outslug Mike Trout and the Angels once again. Trevor Bauer makes his 20th start of the season and perhaps his most important of the year. It's a high noon showdown next on Sports Time Ohio. Today's Indians-Angels game is presented by Hankook Tires. On a beautiful day in downtown Cleveland here at Progressive Field, the Indians wrap up the homestand looking to make it a clean sweep as they take on the Los Angeles Angels. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. So far, it's been a perfect homestand for the Tribe. They've done everything. They've pitched well, clutch hitting, timely hitting. The big bats have boomed some home runs. We've seen some grand slams, and Bradley Zimmer has been front and center for most of it.
Oh, he's been fun to watch on the homestand. Bradley Zimmer getting his first career grand slam, and that was a big hit at the time. It was a 7-run inning. He's stolen some bases. He had 2 in that game, playing some great defense. And not only that, he's a third Indian to lead off a game with a home run. He's done it all is right, and he's getting better right before our eyes. But when you look at the offense, you can see 8 runs a ball game. The thing that gets me is the 450 average with runners in scoring position, something that they have had problems doing. It's been no problem on the homestand. That's why they're 6-0. 2 walk-off wins. They only had 1 coming into this series, so it's been a fun series for the Indians and the fans.
Rick, Terry Francona has said they're not going to carry a 6-man rotation the rest of the year. Could this, in fact, be the final start for Trevor Bauer?
It certainly could. You know, Trevor Bauer has been inconsistent. He's had a very good curveball that he's mixed, but, you know, he gets ahead in the count sometimes, and then he lets hitters back into it. So he's going to have to stay aggressive and not throw as many pitches. He's the league leader in pitches. It's 19 pitches per inning. But when you look at the month and the breakdown of that, he's having a tough July, 1-2 with an 8.44 ERA. Someone's got to go in the rotation. It could be Trevor Bauer, but let's see how he pitches today because he could change some minds.
All right, the Indians try to sweep the Angels and head out of town for a Central Division showdown with Chicago coming up next. We'll be back with today's first pitch, plus Alan Jensen had the big story, which once again centers around the Kansas City Royals. And Andre Knott has more on Francisco Lindor and his impact on the team bunting early in games. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Nature Stone, the only concrete solution.
will try and sweep the Angels, and in the process they would sweep the homestand as well, looking for their 7th straight victory here today with Trevor Bauer on the mound. Welcome back to center field along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. So the Indians have won 6 in a row, but the Kansas City Royals, they're the big story. They have won 8 in a row to stay within a game and a half of the Tribe in the Central.
Well, to me, Al, they've gotten through the soft part of their schedule, and by that, it's time to see what they're really made of. They're going to go play Boston starting tomorrow night in Fenway. Then they've got 3 in Baltimore. They come back home. They're going to play Seattle for 4. Then they got a home and home against the St. Louis Cardinals. So you're playing teams that are fighting for their playoff lives, and we'll really find out. But last night, this was ugly from Bruce Rondon. Danny Duffy having words. He tweeted after the game, where he was talking with reporters after the game, that, hey, if the situation isn't sexy enough for you, then just go home. I thought it was perfect. When you get beat down like that, you got to get back and revenge the right way, not by throwing at a guy.
Well, the Tigers this week, they put up no resistance against the Royals at all. So you know what? If you instead of hitting the other guy, just play better.
Yeah, you got to play better. And boy, they got worked. But we'll see if Kansas City's for real, because now they're going to start playing some real competition that's playing at a high level.
All right, today the Indians will go for that sweep over the Angels. Matt Underwood and Rick Manning have the call along with Andre Knott. Let's send it over to them. Fellas, take it away.
Well, because it's a noon game, I won't quote exactly what Brad Ausmus said after that game, but he was quoted as saying, "We got our blanks whipped. They completely outplayed us." Doesn't sound like it's a good situation right now in Detroit. Jose Iglesias jogged into third base after he hit a double and was easily tagged out, so they are a mess right now. Here today, the Indians and the Angels, as the Tribe tries to sweep the series and the homestand. And we'll go down to Andre Knott, who has more on Francisco Lindor and this fascination everybody has with him bunting.
Well, with analytics and everybody else having numbers that say bunting is bad or bunting is good, Francisco Lindor, despite having a young age, sees the game in an old school kind of way. He feels like it helps get him going, getting the offense going when he bunts early. So I asked Terry Francona his thoughts on one of his best players bunting early in the game in today's Hear Right Sounds of the Game.
But scoring first is important. So, and there's times like, if Frankie's hitting right-handed, and he's trying to hit the ball to right field, and the guy's cutting the ball in on him, and the first baseman's playing in, you're kind of 50-50 anyway. So, he might hit a nice ground ball to the right side and might not do the job anyway. So sometimes I get it. And the last thing is he's trying to put the team ahead of himself, which is always a good thing.
Well, whether fans like it, scouts like it, or Michael Brantley likes it, he's going to continue doing it. The one thing he's told me is sometimes he bunts to get going. Well, over the last 6 games, he's hitting over 400, and the Indians' offense is finally clicking, guys.
Yeah, he's on a roll right now, and so are about 6 other guys in this Indians lineup right now, which is why they have taken off offensively on this homestand. The Tribe has taken the field behind Trevor Bauer, and we'll get a look right now at Mike Scioscia's starting lineup for the Angels, presented by Hankook Tires. Ben Revere moves into the leadoff spot today. Mike Trout will hit second. Albert Pujols will bat third. Cole Calhoun hitting cleanup. Andrelton Simmons batting fifth. He's red hot. Luis Valbuena has homered twice in the series. He'll bat sixth. Then it's C.J. Cron. Juan Gratterall gets the catching duties today. He'll bat eighth. Caleb Cowart, the rookie, hitting ninth.
And Trevor Bauer's our Ohio Honda starting pitcher for the Tribe today. Bauer 8-8. His last start was a win to get that record back to 500. He pitched against Toronto, 5 innings. He gave up 6 hits, 3 runs. He walked 4, struck out 6, and he left trailing in that game. But the offense came back, scored big when he was coming out of the ball game. He ended up getting the win. So all things were good for him, and hopefully put it in a positive spin. In his career, he's 3-0 against the Angels in his 4 starts. So he's pitched well against them to a 3.14 ERA. We'll see if he can stay undefeated against them today. Let's check out the defense behind him. It's brought to you by Ram, and it looks this way. Brantley in left, Zimmer center, Geyer in right, Urshela at third, Lindor at short, Ramirez at second, Santana at first, and Perez doing the catching.
Adam Hamari will call the balls and strikes. Bill Miller, the crew chief, is at first base. Todd Tishner, right there in the picture, is at second. Nick Lentz is over at third. And we're ready to go. Mike Trout due up second here in the first inning. The Indians have won 7 straight against the Angels. The last time they had a streak longer than 7 in a row against the Angels was when they beat them 9 straight times 18 years ago, back in 1999. Trevor Bauer ready to go. And we're underway with a fastball for strike 1. "82 degrees under mostly sunny skies here at Progressive Field." Slapped out of play. And the count 0-2 on Ben Revere. Revere has gone 3 for 8 in the series, and he's 18 for his last 54 at the plate, which equates to a .333 average. And a big reason why Mike Scioscia felt like, hey, let's change things up. Let's get Revere at the top. Escobar really hasn't been getting the job done. Escobar was 0 for 5 in the game last night. Now the 0-2. A little low. Revere lays off.
This is what I want to see with today with Bauer when he gets to 0-2. A lot of times he'll let a hitter back into the count. They're hitting .262 off him when he gets to a 0-2 count.
Ground ball to first. Santana stays with it. He'll take it himself. 1 down. Storylines are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Big start for Bauer. And the left-handed hitters for the Indians against the right-hander J.C. Ramirez, who's given up 18 homers on the year, 14 of them to left-handed batters. To give that number you just threw out there some perspective, Bauer allowing a .262 average after he gets ahead of a hitter 0-2. There are only 4 qualified pitchers who have a higher batting average against. Kevin Gausman of Baltimore, Phil Hughes and Kyle Gibson of Minnesota, and Willie Peralta in Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's when normally when you attack hitters, that's when you should be able to get them.
In the air to left, Michael Brantley takes care of that. Mike Trout is retired, 2 down. And that's going to bring up Albert Pujols.
Number 5, Albert Pujols.
At 54 and 45, the Indians have equaled their, I should say they've actually a new high watermark. 9 games over 500 is the best they've been so far this year. And that's good enough for the 2nd best winning percentage in the American League. Only Houston, who's running away with the AL West, has been better. They're 67 and 34. Now the Indians with a .545 win percentage, 1 percentage point better than Boston, who leads the AL East with a mark of 56 and 47. They're a game in front of the Yankees and 2.5 ahead of Tampa Bay. The Royals are idle today, so the Indians have a chance to pick up a half game. Pitch is outside to Pujols, and it's 3-1. Indians already have a 2-game lead on Kansas City in the loss column. Pujols shoots that one just foul. He may be 0 for 11 in the series, but when he's in a good hitters count, he can still turn it loose and get that barrel head out there.
Absolutely right. This is a bullet. It just hooks foul, and I don't even think that Urshela would have got to that ball if it was fair because it was hit so hard. But it's a foul ball.
Payoff pitch, chopped to short. Lindor takes his time. Perfect throw. A 1-2-3 first for Trevor Bauer. The Indians are coming to bat. Terry Francona is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Bradley Zimmer once again leading it off. Frankie Lindor's hitting 6 straight. He'll bat second. Michael Brantley is third. Then it's Edwin Encarnacion, Jose Ramirez, and Carlos Santana. Brandon Geyer gets the start in right field. Roberto Perez behind the dish, and Giovanni Urshela at third base hitting ninth.
J.C. Ramirez is the Ohio Honda starting pitcher for the game today. The Hyundai starting pitcher. J.C. Ramirez is 9-8. 7 of those wins have come on the road.
Bradley Zimmer is at a big series. Gone 5 for 9, 2 homers, 6 runs batted in against the Angels. Starts this game with a hard bouncer to second. Coward has it, and he throws him out by a half step, 1 down.
Let's check out the Angels defense, brought to you by WB Mason. In the outfield, Revere in left, Trout in center, Calhoun in right, Valbuena is at third, Simmons in short, Coward in second. Crone gets the start at first, and Gratterall behind the plate.
Mike Scioscia has watched his team fall behind early in one of these games, claw their way back only to lose in extra innings, and then last night in a close game he watched his bullpen implode late as the Indians ran away with it with their second 7-run inning of the series as they pounded out 7 runs, 7 hits in the 8th last night. Fastball strike to Francisco Lindor, who's 4 for 9 in the series. He scored a couple of runs.
This guy pitched in 111 career major league games before making his first start this year, April 14th in Kansas City.
All the way from Iowa. Two one. Lindor batting .400 during his 6-game hitting streak, and over his last 10 games batting .415. So he's picked up the pace offensively. And he's done it with just a brutally basic approach, focusing on hitting the ball gap to gap, and in the process, a walk-off home run earlier on the homestand. That'll bring up Michael Brantley with a hit in 5 straight games. The other thing about Brantley, he's starting to produce more in the middle of the lineup. Last 25 games, he has 21 runs batted in. That gives him 47 on the year. He's tied with Lindor. Right behind Jose Ramirez with 52, Santana with 53, and Encarnacion with 59. And of course, Lonnie Chisenhall, who's on the DL, has 51. Brantley with a liner to center for out number 2. You know, Bradley Zimmer, who's played in just, well, I think this is his 61st game this year, and has batted leadoff now for quite some time. He's got 35 runs batted in all of a sudden.
Yes, he does. Well, it's just starting to come for him where he's feeling more comfortable. It's been a good homestand for him.
Lindor takes off on the first pitch to Encarnacion, and the throw nowhere near in time. Lindor with his 5th steal of the year.
Well, that's the 11th stolen base out of 15 attempts against Ramirez, and he is a little slow to the plate, so I would expect the Indians to do this if they get guys on base. Put the pressure on them and make them throw. Lindor gets in there with 2 outs.
Encarnacion pulled off the slider just a tad, 1-1. Up and in.
Well, he has a lot of movement on his pitches. You can see that when he cut underneath the little fastball. And it was riding in on Encarnacion.
Well, it's a noon start, so maybe just a tad the reflexes.
Yeah, it takes a little while to get loose. Yeah, they didn't leave real early last night. It was a 3.5-hour game last night. So back here bright and early.
First base is open. Edwin has a 3-1 count. See if Ramirez challenges him here early in the game. Pulled off that slider again. Full count.
There's no challenge early. You're going to get something. He goes in there with a strike, but he attacks him with the slider.
If you throw it 3-1, you throw it 3-2. Except Encarnacion got a piece of it to stay alive.
Well, the Indians have scored first in their last 5 games, so hopefully they can get on the board and make it 6. That's been the MO here for this homestand: score early and add on. And in this series, it's been the big inning, 7-run innings, a 7-run second inning in Game 1, 7-run 8th inning in Game 2.
Tribe is 38-15 when they score first on the year. And in particular, when they score early and have the lead, they're tough to beat, especially at home. High, ball 4. Second walk of the inning issued by J.C. Ramirez. This year, after just 2 innings, when the Indians have the lead at home, they're 15-2. Overall, 25-4. So getting those runs early, and it goes back to Andre's hit at the top of the show about Francisco Lindor bunting early in the game. Anything you can do to scratch out a run or two early, it just seems to settle this team and they take off. Pop high and foul and near the stands and out of play.
Well, in Game 1, the Angels pitching, they walked 8 batters, and that's where the Indians really took advantage of them. 6 of those walks came around to score. Yesterday, they walked 4, and only 2 came around to score. But if you walk the way these Indians guys are hitting right now, you could be in for a long day.
Slow chopper to first. Ramirez hustling down the line, but C.J. Cron beats him to the bag. And the Indians strand a pair. We are scoreless after 1.
Paced MLB action with all your favorite MLB teams and players. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at RBIGame.com.
We're not sure if there have been any complaints lodged about a lack of picnic baskets. Everybody got their blankets, though.
Yeah, we'll see. There may have been, those were special. The baskets were special.
Cole Calhoun leads off, pitch down low, ball one. The guy on TV said.
I'll be in trouble then. Good thing we're leaving town after the game.
Won't be the first time.
And it won't be the last.
Cole Calhoun 4 for his last 31 at the plate. But one of those 4 was a home run that he hit in the first game of the series. He's got great power. Good pitch, just missed inside. 2-1. Bauer with a very tidy first inning, retiring the side 1-2-3. That one really took off on him, lost either the release point or just the grip coming out of his hand. 3-1.
That might have been another changeup.
And he walked him. Leadoff man aboard. We'll go down to Andre.
Well, Matt, after 2 okay starts coming out of the All-Star break, Trevor Bauer feels like he has a better feel for what he needs to do when he's on the mound.
Trying to be more consistent, like I've been trying to do all year. I think I need to throw more strikes than I have my last 2. But up until the All-Star break, I think my 8 or 10 starts before that were really consistent. I was had like a high 3 ERA, and I wasn't walking people, and I was doing things that make me successful. All-Star break hit and got a little out of sequence. My first one just felt weird. There was a little bit of a hangover effect from that one last start, just in the way my body felt, and not quite sharp on execution.
Thank you, Andre. And Andrelton Simmons at the plate now for the Angels, taking a first pitch strike. Bauer had a 3.82 ERA in June. It was by far his best month of the season. Hasn't been able to get on track here, though, in the month of July to this point.
Well, that's the key, is consistency. If you can get it, if you're Trevor Bauer. His problems sometimes have been when he gets runners on base, they're hitting 344 off him. Runners in scoring position 314. So when he's goes into the stretch, he has had some problems.
The 0-2. Missed inside. Well, as he just said, when you walk 9 in 3 starts, that's generally something that's going to work against you as a pitcher. You got to work so much harder to get out of those innings when you're creating traffic. And so I think that's obviously his focus, try to throw more strikes here today. And after walking the leadoff man, he goes right back out. Gets ahead as Simmons 0-2 before he missed.
His second 0-2 count so far today. I'm keeping an eye on that. But he's facing this guy here has been as hot as any Angels hitter going. He was hitting 230 in the month of May.
He reached for it, and it stays foul. Simmons is 5 for 6 in the series. He's also had a couple of walks, hit by pitch, so he's been on base a ton. He scored 3 runs.
Yeah, he's swinging it very well. He was hitting 231 on May 12th. And since that point, he's been hitting 337. And that's awesome for a shortstop, and he's an excellent glove man as well.
Curveball hit right to third. Urshela will go to second. There's one. On to first. Double play. Nicely turned by Urshela and Ramirez.
Well, just what the doctor ordered. One hopper, easy throw for Urshela to get it over to Ramirez, and who just flips it along and gets the double play. 2 for the price of 1.
Well, again, I know we've talked about this frequently, but with Kipnis out and Lonnie Chisenhall out, the play of Eric Gonzalez and Giovanni Urshela, in particular on the defensive side of things, has really been impressive to watch. They've made the plays. They've been spectacular at times, but more than that, Rick, they've just been steady. And Tito told me the other day, so, you know, that's not always the case when you call young guys up. They don't always just step right in and make all the plays defensively. So they've been a real nice security blanket, I guess.
Yes, they have.
And Ramirez, I mean, you know, flipping back and forth between third base and second base seems on the surface maybe like an easy move to make. Not always the case, but he's done it well. The 0-2. Swung on and missed, and Trevor Bauer back by the double play ball. Breezes through the second. No score.
No score heading into the bottom half of the second inning. J.C. Ramirez on to face Santana, Geyer, and Perez. A couple of walks in the first inning J.C. Ramirez had, but no damage done.
Oh, that ball's crushed deep center. Trout looking up, and it's gone. It just didn't clear the wall, and Carlos Santana gives the Indians a 1-0 lead with his 13th home run of the year. Arch, the way Trout was playing that, he thought maybe it was going to ricochet high off the wall, but it just did get out of here.
Well, again, the Indians will score first for the 6th straight time, and it comes on a solo home run again tonight.
He's one of those guys that can go back to the wall and rob you of a home run. We've seen him do it many times before.
Well, he was waiting. He knew he wasn't going to get to it, but that one gets out of here. And Santana has been swinging a hot bat. He got on top of 3 high fastballs yesterday and hits this one out for his 13th homer.
Brandon Geyer takes a strike. Yeah, that's hot. 344. Yeah, I was on with the Angels pregame show on their radio network yesterday, and they asked me a question. They said, who's the one guy the Indians really need to get hot in their lineup. And Santana was the one guy that came to mind because we have seen him historically get hot in the second half. As that's just off the glove of C.J. Cron, and Brandon Guyer is aboard with a soft single in the shallow right. And if Santana gets hot, Rick, with the way Zimmer and Lindor and Brantley and Edwin and Jose have been swinging, then you've got a lineup that really is going to be tough to face for any starting pitcher.
Yeah, it's more than welcome if somebody gets hot down there. And there's one right there. We're off the end of the bat, hits the glove, hits the leather, falls in. Guyer gets himself a base hit.
Roberto Perez will step in with one on, nobody out. And the Indians grabbing the lead once again here early.
That home run by Santana, now that's the 15th that J.C. Ramirez is allowed to the left-handers. Only 3 to the right-handers. And his 19th home run on the year that he has allowed.
Back our way, out of play. High fastball, call a strike. 0-2. What Roberto Perez really needs is for Brandon Guyer to steal second, because half of his hits on the year, and it's been this way for quite a while, half of his hits have come with runners in scoring position.
Well, I'm looking down. Guyer hasn't attempted a steal yet, so maybe Perez should put it on. He should give him the sign.
Put the bat down and just go through the signals. Double play ball right at the shortstop Simmons. He goes to Cowart, on to Cron. 2 down, we go to Andre.
Well, in last night's great clip of the game, Carlos Santana had 3 hits, and you're talking to Carlos, he feels like what's really truly helped him was those couple days off he had in San Francisco. If you guys remember, he had an ankle that was bothering him. Felt like that slowed him down a little bit, got the swelling out of it, and he's finally swinging the bat the way that he knew that he could. Terry Franconis told me he wasn't worried too much because, well, Carlos always hits in the second half of the season.
Well, of his 13 home runs he's hit this year, 6 of them have either tied or given the Indians the lead. And he's done that here today with his leadoff smash in the second. Now 2 down for Giovanni Urshela. Missed inside. 1-1.
This guy, if he can stay in his delivery, that's a nasty slider right there that he just threw Urshela. You know, it's all about command for him.
I mean, he's got that, you know, it's anywhere from 89 to 91, but when it's at 91, the break's a little shorter, but it's nasty right on the outside part of the plate. His fastball up to 96 at times. But he's run the count full. Charlie Nagy's been an interesting year for him with all the injuries on this pitching staff for the Angels. Payoff pitch, low, ball 4.
It's already his third walk, first time through the lineup.
I guess challenging, not interesting. Challenging is probably the better word for the year it's been for Charlie as the Angels pitching coach. I think back to Charlie Manuel's first year as manager here in Cleveland, all the injuries the Indians had on that pitching staff. It was a revolving door, and Nags has gone through the same year. Same thing with the Angels.
And you know what? You can't blame anybody. All of their starters are on the disabled list. What can you do? I mean, you just have to try and find a way to replace them, and you're not going to, you know, just bring kids up from the minor league and plug holes. You've got to go out and you got to do things you normally wouldn't do to fill roster spot and compete now and try and stay in it. I mean, they're in the wild card hunt. They're an excellent defensive team.
Ricky Nolasco gave him a gutsy performance last night. A season high 119 pitches, but it was the last one to this guy that knocked him out of the game. Zimmer doubled off the wall and left to give the Indians the lead for good in the 7th inning. And that fastball up to 97. It's 2-1. Challenged him 2-2. That fastball missed. Now it's a full count. And I think you're already seeing, Rick, the problems with Ramirez here in the early going. Great arm, but the command is just a tad off here and there, and then instead of putting hitters away, he's full count,
letting them back in,
piling up.
Well, that's the thing. It's all about command.
Runner goes. Saw him out. First K for Ramirez, and after 2, the Indians lead at 1-0. On the solo shot by Carlos Santana. Journeys at Elk and Elk, and Steven Strasburg yet again. 9th time he's gone on the disabled list for the Nationals. Luckily for them, they've got a big lead. 12.5 games over Atlanta in the NL East, and they're the only team over 500. 60-39. But if you're a Nationals fan, aren't you? You've got to be hoping that this is just a sort of a precautionary deal and not something that might knock him out for the rest of the year.
My guess is it is. I saw Dusty Baker says he'll be fine. He'll make his next start. And then, you know, that he wasn't going to need an MRI. So when you have a lead like they do.
Oh, Ramirez catches it. Zimmer almost ran him over. Making sure everybody's okay. They appear to be. Holy mackerel, that could have been ugly.
Well, that's where Zimmer has to take a peek down and see where the second baseman is. There's no problem with going after everything, but you got to take a peek.
Now you're just thankful they didn't.
See, there's the wave.
Heads together there.
He didn't hear anything, and there's the wave where Ramirez was saying, "I've got it." And Zimmer didn't hear him, and he's not going to call for it. But you got to take a peek before you go in there as hard as he did. Hey, still learning out there.
Juan Gratterall, the catcher, takes fastball for a strike. Right at Santana. He'll take it himself. We'll take it over to Al Pawlowski for a game break.
All right, Matt, Rick, you guys were just talking about Strasburg with the Nationals. They've got some offense. One of their guys, Bryce Harper, bottom of the first today in the nation's capital against the Brew Crew. See you later. 2-run shot for Harper. That puts Washington ahead with his 26th homer, 2-0. Still 2-0 over Milwaukee, third inning. Fellas, back to you.
The Cubs took over sole possession of first place in the NL Central last night with their win over the White Sox. Milwaukee now a half game out. I'll ask you, Arch. Brewers have lost 8 of 10. Cubs have won 8 of 10. Do the Brewers see first place again this year?
Oh boy, the way they're reeling right now, who knows? They could, but they better start get it together. Their pitching has been a little, and they ran into a slump scoring too.
It may depend more on how Chicago plays. If Chicago plays to their abilities, they should run away from the pack. But they've been kind of back and forth all season long. Not a whole lot unlike the Indians. Trevor Bauer, first time through the order, has not allowed a hit. 1-0 Tribe, middle of the third. On this warm, sunny afternoon, to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Home half of the third. Lindor, Brantley, and Encarnacion due up. Frankie with a walk and a stolen base, his first time up, stranded at second though.
You look up there now, Matt, there's not even a cloud in the sky. Crystal clear.
Yeah, and that breeze once again blowing in today. I don't know how much of an impact it'll have, if any. Saw Santana hit one out of here to straightaway center, but
yeah, but it just barely made it over. That's
true,
what I think
yeah.
was Trout was sort of waiting to see if that wind is knocking it down a little bit.
Strike 3 called, and Lindor knew it. Back-to-back Ks for Ramirez. Well, our stat of the game today is brought to you by Buick. And this one's really interesting. Last night, the Indians had a 7-run 8. Tuesday, they had a 7-run second. First time it's happened since July 28th and 29th, back-to-back games, 1979. Now, here's the really crazy part. When you guys did it, Arch, you guys had a 7-run second and then a 7-run, or rather, I'm sorry, it was back-to-back. So the Indians had the 7-run second, then a 7-run 8th. When you guys did it, it was a 7-run 8th, and the next night a 7-run second. So you did
I got you.
in just the opposite order. Okay. Back-to-back games. And in the second game, when you had the big second inning, you hit a grand slam.
Okay. Where'd they dig that up?
Mike Pata. He has a carrier pigeon. He sent it out last night with a little note attached to it. It flew back this morning. And all that information was scribbled on a tiny piece of paper.
It's an old pigeon.
Isn't that bizarre, though? The last time it happened, it was the same innings, only flip-flopped.
And then the second, right.
And there was a grand slam involved.
Well, when you have a 7-run inning, you know there's going to be a big one in there somewhere, either a 3-run home run or a grand slam. At least you would think so.
Brantley with a chopper up the middle. Simmons throws about 2 away. Let's see, who did you hit your slam off? Do you remember?
What year was it?
1979.
And who are we playing? Ken Kravick.
Oh, you're not supposed to tell him, Red.
He didn't.
Kenny Kravick.
He didn't tell me. Oh, we were just talking to Kenny, who's now a scout with Tampa.
Ashland University's own.
Yeah, Kenny's from Ohio. He was a left-handed pitcher with the Chicago White Sox. Well, I've had 3 career grand slams that were all on the 29th of a month. So go figure that one out.
You're big. Well, hey, 2 days away from the 29th. I'm going to lock you in your room.
Heads up.
So here's how that inning went for our buddy Ken Kravick. He got the first out again. He got Thunder Thornton on a fly ball out. And then he hit Cliff Johnson, gave up a double to Ted Cox. Gary Alexander took him deep. He walked Kuiper. Verizon singled. He walked Grover, and you hit a grand slam.
That's what he gets for walking those guys.
Okay. Then Bobby Bonds singled. He walked Thunder, and then Ted Cox and Cliff Johnson were both retired to end the inning. So it could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have. Well, I hear Andre's on his game. He already had a heads up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That ball was hit.
Kravick got the hook after you hit the grand slam off of him.
Knocked a few good ones out.
Edwin flies to center. The Indians go 1-2-3. And after 3 innings of play, Cleveland leads it 1-0.
the road. They'll go to Chicago, to Boston, and then we will head home. And it's going to be Dollar Dog Night when we return. It's August 4th. The Yankees will be in town, and you can enjoy $2 domestic beers out in the district from 5 to 7. Stay after the game for fireworks. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets. It'll be the first time we're playing the Yankees this year.
Well, after Trevor Bauer walked Cole Calhoun to start the second, he's retired, or he's recorded 6 outs on 11 pitches. So he's gone right back to being efficient like he was in that first inning. And now Ben Revere leading off the fourth, grounded out his only time up. Soft line drive into center field. First hit of the game for the Angels, and the leadoff man aboard here in the fourth. T-Mobile Unlimited baseball break. They had a wild one last night down in Arlington.
Boy.
A 9-run fourth.
It was the Dolphins playing last night.
And a 5-run eighth for the Marlins. 22 runs on 22 hits.
How about that? They've never done that in the history of the franchise. They had scored 22 runs the previous 6 games.
You got to imagine 32 runs. Going to take a little time.
Oh yeah, but man, think about it. 22 runs, that's hard to do in a major league game. You get up there, you get into the teens. But we've seen some crazy games down there in Texas. You know, in the summertime when the ball just jumps and it's like you can be out there for a long time in that heat.
The game only took 4 hours. 4 hours 2 minutes.
Oh, that all?
I thought it would have been a lot longer than that.
Well, our extra inning game the other night was 4:15. And that was what, 11 innings.
Two-one pitch, runner goes, pitch is inside, thrown out by Perez. It's in time, and they got him. Ramirez slaps the tag on Revere.
He had a pretty good jump too, so it's a nice throw by Perez as the Indians catchers continue to do good work from behind the plate. Watch how quickly he gets up. It's a good pitch to throw on a fastball in, and he fires the seed. Ramirez applies the tag.
Did you see what happened? Revere goes head first right into the foot of Ramirez. He never gets to the bag.
Right. Well, he's turning his head. So he's not watching where he slides, but you're going to catch a foot if you go in there head first. So good throw by Perez.
You'd have to say good footwork by Ramirez. Trout got him looking. That's a nice slider by Trevor Bauer right over the outside edge. His second strikeout here tonight.
Take a look at the slider. There it is, outside corner. He tried to lay off it. He was going to start to walk and maybe decoy the umpire, but he is rung up with Bauer's second strikeout.
Albert Pujols takes a little low, ball one. Nice big curveball, and that drops in 1-1. Got him to chase. Center field, Zimmer runs it down. Another quick inning of work for Trevor Bauer in the Tribe. Middle of the fourth, 1-0 Cleveland.
KeyBank Kids tickets start at just $15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket, and the seats are located in the family deck near the kids clubhouse and are only available at Indians.com.
Jose Ramirez leading off. Takes a pitch outside, ball one. Hit hard but foul.
Jose just 2 for 10 in the series.
Nice play by C.J. Cron. Long flip. It's high, but Ramirez snails it. And that's out number one. All right, now this gets a little goofy. Last night in that game in Texas, fans, the only reason they were waiting around because it was a blowout game is to see Adrian Beltre hit again, hoping he'd get 3,000 hits. Jerry Davis was not the plate umpire. He was mad because Adrian Beltre was not near the on-deck circle. He told Beltre to get in the on-deck circle, so Beltre moved the on-deck circle, and Davis ejected him from the ballgame.
Well, he said he was standing there all series long, and you know he was in that spot and had never been told once. So he just figured, okay, I'm going to stand in the same spot. And you know what he said? If I'm not, when I stand over there, I've been hit before for baseballs from standing in the original spot. So he just moved the thing when he said, okay, you want me in the circle, I'll move it. Here's a guy 4 hits away from 3,000, and the umpire ejects him after a 4-hour ball game, and fans are waiting to see him hit.
Well,
Go ahead.
I can tell you the Indians players that I talked to this morning were not thrilled about it, didn't understand it.
It's terrible.
Even Yan Gomes said to me, he goes, Jerry's usually a good dude. He goes, why didn't he just talk to him and have a conversation with him rather than do something like that in the 8th inning of a game like that? It just makes no sense.
Here's my guess. Frustration. He wanted out of there for, you know, the game means nothing. So you're going to punish the fans that stayed to watch Beltre hit?
Well, 1-1 pitch. Santana socks this one high in the air to left. Routine for Revere. All right, let's think about it. Let's try to remove emotion from it and just put yourself in Jerry Davis's position just for a second. I'm just playing devil's advocate. He probably felt like Beltre showing him up there. Like, why do you have to make a mockery? All I did was ask you to move back to the on-deck circle, and Beltre probably took it a step too far. I think some of the blame lies with him. Do I think Jerry Davis was right? No, I think he lost his cool and ejected him. Probably quick trigger. But Adrian Beltre, I think some of the blame there goes to him.
Okay, but why didn't they put him in the box in game one?
Well, I can tell you guys, because we've had some issues down where I'm at with certain rules, even with the glove the other day with Mike Clevenger. A lot of times they get calls from New York. I'm talking about the umpires. They say, hey, this guy's doing this or that. And Tito told me sometimes they're just covering their rear end so they don't get in trouble. So I hear what you're saying, Matt.
Yeah, it was goofy. Like I said, it was just bizarre. It shouldn't have come to that, but it did. And now it's front page news all over the place. 1, 2, 3 go the Indians. We've played 4. 1-0 Tribe. Indians baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by Cleveland Clinic, Express Care online. Download it now for free. 1-0 Cleveland as we go to the 5th. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning, Andre Knott, and right now we're joined by Jensen Lewis from his familiar perch out on the Indians live pregame set, and of course it's located right there at the top of the bullpens. Jensen, Trevor Bauer averaging 19 pitches an inning coming in. Today, 5 of his 12 outs on 3 pitches or less. Why has he been so efficient so far?
Some of the keys that we've talked about, not only with Trevor, but also with this entire rotation, staying ahead and really commanding the fastball well. You look at the total pitch count, 44 pitches, 28 strikes.
Yeah, that's where Trevor has had some issues this year. You get to an 0-2 count and he pitches his way, he lets the hitter back into the count, but today's been pretty good.
Cole Calhoun, the only walk he's issued back in that 2nd inning. And he takes a pitch down low to even the count here at 1-1. Jensen, one of the criticisms that I've heard repeatedly about Trevor Bauer is that he tries to strike everybody out. What does that mean? Break that down for us in pitcher's parlance.
And I guess with Trevor, it's within his personality too. He's a hyper aggressive guy when he gets to 2 strikes as far as the breaking ball goes. But sometimes, Matty, it's almost like he's being a little too stubborn with those pitch selections. When it calls for a fastball, maybe he's not going into that as much or trusting it as much. And you can see the inconsistencies where he's gotten ahead. And as Rick's talked about a lot in these past couple of starts, he'll get ahead, but then he'll lose guys, and that's where you see the high pitch counts.
Foul back in the count. It's 2-2.
Jensen, he's also today he's throwing his slider a little bit more, and he has a good one going today, and his changeup a little bit more. It was pretty much a lot of fastball curveballs prior to that.
Yeah, and he's really allowed himself to show the full arsenal without getting into that high pitch count area because he's been ahead the majority of counts. I know you're keeping track of the 0-2 instances as well, but right here, you look at where those locations are. That's a great fastball to Calhoun on the outside. He's now in this start, I think, particularly making guys hit his pitch, and we may not have seen that probably in the past month or so on a consistent basis.
Here's the payoff pitch to Calhoun, and a line drive to center. Zimmer will play back on it, gets it on a hop, and a leadoff single For the Angels, their second straight and their second hit of the game overall.
Well, and Calhoun's been on twice, and here's you see he's just going to give the base hit here. Earlier in this series, Zimmer tried to rob a hit with a guy on first base and it got by him, so you learn.
Jensen, I'm not going to ask you to try and crawl inside of Trevor Bauer's head, but early in the year he made the reference that, you know, the batting average on balls put in play was extremely high. He felt like he was making pretty good pitches, and, you know, the numbers that were kind of flukish against him. Do you think that at all played into what we've seen from him as the season has played out? Do you think that maybe scarred him, and maybe that's why he's had the trouble?
Yeah, this guy's got a couple of hard drives full of data, fellas. I mean, there's so much it seems that he takes into each outing, and understanding which quadrants favor him or what disadvantages he's got in a particular outing. But with balls in play, guys, and you really understand a lot more as you're facing teams, particularly in your own division, you know, second, third time around. And, you know, sometimes you can have a little paralysis by analysis, and I think that's probably been something that's held Trevor back from taking that very next step, because he might trust the numbers just a bit too much. This isn't a video game, and, you know, with the advent here of our favorite buzzwords, exit velocity, launch angle, you know, Michael Brantley made a great point about, I'm just trying to put good swings on the ball, and from a pitching perspective, just trying to collect as many outs as possible, however you get those. But it's the amount of processing you do, balancing, all right, do I trust the numbers, or I just rear back and trust my stuff?
Chop to third. It's a fair ball. Urshela's only play at first. He was off balance, and Calhoun was bearing down on second. So he'll take the out at first. Calhoun.
Well, he wanted to go to second base, but I think he tried to get in that glove a little too quickly, and on the transfer he didn't get it the way he wanted to, so he had to go to first base. That was his secondary plan right there. He wanted to get the lead runner. You know how aggressive he is. We've seen him do it a couple of times on the homestand, and he was able to get the lead runner. One was against Cincinnati when Hamilton was running on the 3-2 pitch.
Yeah. That was a phenomenal play. And so now, first time today, Bauer's had a runner get into scoring position, and Luis Valbuena at the plate struck out his first time up. Valbuena is an interesting guy, Jensen, as a pitcher. When you look at this guy coming in, you look at the batting average, you think he's hitting under 200. But he has that one zone where if you find it, he can take you deep. How do you approach this guy?
Well, a former teammate of mine that really was the epitome of feast or famine because of just what you said, Matt. He's got that ability from a left-handed hitting perspective. Anything down and in. You saw both homers. He has crushed those pitches, Rick. For me, this is a guy that almost is a book left-hander. You pound him hard in, and you keep that fastball elevated because he's got that uppercut swing, but he'll chase a lot of off-speed away as well.
Absolutely. Belting in with the fastball. Don't miss it down. You can bounce breaking balls he'll swing at.
And again, the way Bauer's going today and understanding his troubles with runners on, you can really go away from Luis and make him chase a bad pitch.
Oh, there's a nice changeup, and he gets ahead of him 1-2.
Yeah, he's a dead red hitter. He searches the fastball and he puts a hard swing on it. Watch the changeup come in. Good arm speed. And he thinks it's a fastball.
Oh, yeah.
And he's cheating on it.
Now you open up the strike zone a ton here, Matty. You've got the ability to go north with the heater, but you set him up to the point where he's going to have to try and cover both sides of the plate.
See what Roberto puts down here. Oh, it's tough to figure with that runner at second base. High heater, no. Breaking ball down low, and Valbuena lays off.
Yep, didn't chase it.
Kind of an interesting sequence there, guys. We usually had a rule of thumb coming out of the bullpen. You throw the breaking ball and then follow with the changeup. But the way that Bauer works, it kind of unconventional sometimes that his breaking ball is his out pitch. But you see in that sequence right there where Roberto's trying to get Valbuena to chase, you've kind of opened up the upper part of the strike zone now because you've started the breaking ball there. He can go hard if he wants, or he can go back to soft away.
Upstairs with a fastball, Valbuena fights it off.
Kind of the fun part about going through this lineup too, guys. We obviously know about Trout and Pujols, but you got to give credit to guys like Calhoun. He had a big home run earlier in this series. Valbuena has obviously been very productive.
Simmons is a good player.
Exactly.
Here.
And what's he's hitting almost 600 now in the past 5 or 6 games. But you look at the bottom of this lineup, and this is where Bauer, you talk about efficiency. You want to be able to collect a ton of outs and get your team late in the ball game. And the way this bottom of the lineup has struggled so mightily for LA, good time to capitalize right here.
Here's the 2-2, and Valbuena pops it up. Shallow left. Brantley's got a long run in. Lindor's going to get out there and make the catch. And that's out number 2.
Well, Trevor Bauer today, he has been able to stay down in the zone, and he has done it with fastballs, changeups, sliders, and everything. So he has really used his 4-pitch mix. You can see the good movement right there. Breaking ball going down, getting Pujols to chase it. There's the changeup to Valbuena.
I'll tell you the other thing that stands out, guys, and that whole package right there. Bauer is on top today, and he's on time with his mechanics. He's not out front. He's not pushing the ball. So usually that makes it elevated. Today, driving it down extremely well.
And there's that big curveball, and he flips it in there for a first pitch strike. It's a great first pitch, Jensen, I would think, because most hitters, as Rick and I have talked about, they're not looking for that pitch.
You want to understand who your action early guys, and especially Cron in an RBI situation with 2 outs trying to tie the ball game. He's looking and hunting for that first good fastball.
Another curve right back up the middle, and it gets into center field. Coming around third, Calhoun to the plate, and he is safe. Just ahead of the throw from Zimmer, and the Angels tie the game on the 2-out RBI single by C.J. Cron. So give him credit. He took the first curveball for a strike, but the second one, he nailed it.
Well, and he almost took the glove off of Bauer. He slows it down. If he doesn't touch that ball, Zimmer might have had a better chance. You see how it deadened it a little bit? And the throw is going to be close. Look at Perez blocking the plate. He's just a little bit out in front, but Calhoun with 2 outs off and running. That pitch hung up a little bit for the breaking ball. So we have a new ball game, and this is how the Angels have played all series long.
You're right, though. He ticked it.
Yeah.
And that may have slowed it down just enough.
Guys, watching it from out here, you kind of see the first time today a little bit of a hump in the breaking ball. Almost slowed his body down a little bit, not executing as well as he had before. He hung it up there, and a great piece of hitting by Cron.
Juan Gratterall, the catcher, grounded out his only time up. Checks on a ball down low. 1-1 the count. So take me through the sort of the mindset, the mental approach here. There's got to be a letdown. You just gave up the tying run right there. How do you shelf that and move forward quickly?
I think he's done pretty well pitch to pitch today, Matty. He's really been able to cycle through and understand. That's a good breaking ball right there. Nice job. Good execution. The way he's gone through today, he's looking up at the scoreboard. He mentally knows that he made a bad pitch. Take one more look at the slider. Good top to bottom right there. Good arm speed. I think he's fine, Matt. I think he's really felt confident. You can see it in his body language. You can see how he's delivered everything. Great intent and great conviction.
From the set, the 1-2. Check. Did he go?
No.
No, says Bill Miller down at first base. And the count evens up.
Good try, trying to get him to chase. You'll look at it from the side, and
Nice
it's
job.
close, but it looked like he held up.
Line to left, base hit, down the line it goes. C.J. Cron around second on his way to third. Brantley fires it into Lindor. They're going to stop him right there. It's a double for Gratterall, and the Angels have second and third with 2 down.
Yeah, they got the big 18-wheelers on base there. Even with 2 outs, Cron wasn't going to be able to score from first base. Another breaking ball that's upstairs and taking advantage of. That one was middle of the plate and down into the corner. So 2 hits with 2 outs, and Trevor had a chance to get out of this inning, but could not. And Mickey Callaway is going to come out and have a talk with him.
Jensen, a little surprised here in this inning, especially in the last 2 batters. Rick mentioned before his slider's been very good. It's been effective. It's been tight. almost like he went away from it here in these last couple of hitters, favoring more the big curveball.
Well, to me, watching it from here, guys, it's looked like the breaking balls he's given up hits on so far, arm speed has not been as consistent. When you watch him that first time around, and even the third and fourth inning, his fastball arm speed was almost identical with that off-speed stuff. And now you see where the locations are, and that's a direct reflection of not being on time and also kind of slowing things down. A dead giveaway, guys, even for someone who has a 12-6 curveball like he does. If you see the hump first, it's not top to bottom, that's how you know he has slowed something down in his mechanics.
All right, so the number 9 hitter, Caleb Cowart, who's a pretty good-looking young hitter.
Yeah, he likes the fastball, so you're going to start him off with the breaking ball and you get ahead of him.
Cowart, a ground out to first, his only time up, but he is 5 for 11 since getting the call up from AAA. A couple of doubles, 2 driven in. Way out in front of it again. Well, you called it, Rick. I mean, he's sitting dead red.
Well, any young hitter that comes up, you know they're pretty good fastball hitters, but you got to prove that they can hit the curveball, especially when you have runners in scoring position. He's going to see a steady diet of off-speed pitches.
Great top to bottom movement on that, guys, as well. Excellent execution.
Threw it again. That one down in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Still a situation, guys, and I know it's the 9-hole hitter, but if you're Bauer right here, you don't have to give this guy really anything to hit. You got a base open. Again, I know you don't want to turn it back to the top with Revere, but still, second and third, just making 1 pitch. You're 1 pitch away from getting out of here.
Yeah, you don't want to face Revere because he's had his number.
Right now, it's a 1 ball, 2 strike count with 2 on and 2 out. Tie game. Fastball up and away, nothing doing. 2-2.
Yeah, Revere 5 for 8 off Bauer. 1 for 2 today, but this is the guy you want. You want the rookie to put him away. He showed his fastball right there. Come back with a curveball, put it down, get the swing.
As efficient as Trevor has been up to this point, this is now a 26-pitch inning. Curveball, did he go? He did! Nick Lentz punches him out. The inning is over. But the Angels get a run on 3 hits. They strand 2. We're halfway through, tied at 1. Go to the bottom of the 5th, and Roberto Perez going to lead off for the Tribe. Jensen, this has got to be a pitcher's worst nightmare. You're in Milwaukee. pitching for the Brew Crew, and they're up against, they're in Washington. Third inning, they gave up back-to-back homers, and then get another one. They're 5 homers in 1 inning for the Nationals.
Unbelievable. And the way that Milwaukee has kind of turned a 180, and the Cubs have capitalized. Talk about how hot the Royals have been. Fellas, the Cubs, since Quintana has come over there, it's infused the life, and Milwaukee has yet to kind of, make a counter move to that. But man, shelling today, and you can't give Max Scherzer that kind of a lead and expect to come back.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
I don't think anybody expected Milwaukee to be up there anyway at this point in time of the year. So they can't go out and make trades. They're ahead of schedule. I think they're standing pat, and it's probably smart.
Roberto Perez. J.C. Ramirez delivers. Slow chopper to short. And Andrelton Simmons throws him out 1 down. I don't know what you've thought of J.C. Ramirez so far, but after he struggled first time through the order, he walked 3 and gave up the home run. Second time through, they don't have a hit.
Yeah, and considering his arsenal, guys, I mean, high 90s fastball, there's a lot of life. You watch it from this angle out here. Rick, it has that hop. When you talk about power fastballs, really when it gets to the plate, it feels like it hits another gear. And he's made the adjustment very well second and third time through.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he doesn't walk anybody, he's going to be in good shape because his stuff is very, very good. First time starter. His first start came this year in April after 111 games coming out of the bullpen for the Angels and Cincinnati.
He's retired 8 straight. And Urshela almost got nicked by that fastball.
And that's a good pitch because that'll keep you honest from trying to dive outside on that slider. Go ahead.
I was going to say something you watch, especially as reliever guys, and when a starter has this kind of sustained success, what has worked for him, what's a part of the plate the umpire is really giving you. That's a good pitch right there. Urshela took, but I think for Ramirez, and maybe an adjustment we see this third time around, you got to force him to throw a couple breaking balls in a row for a strike, and you can really stay honest one side of the plate or the other.
Fastball fouled away.
No, he's been a road warrior this year. 7 of his wins have come on the road. So he's pitched very well. He ended up letting Urshela off the hook the first time when he had him down in the count, and he walked him back in the second inning.
You're right, though, Jensen. Normally you see pitchers convert the other way around. Back when you were a wee lad watching the Tribe back home on TV and down in Cincinnati, Jose Mesa went from really good starter to a dominant back end of the bullpen guy.
Boy, how foreshadowing worked there. And we've seen it now with guys in starters that can't turn the lineup over. Zach McAllister, a perfect example here in the Indians bullpen. It was a starter when I was still with the club, and his stuff, you hear the phrase, your stuff will play up, and it certainly has for some of these guys. Even the Angels bullpen, David Hernandez, who's kind of revived his career as Urshela draws the walk. That was a guy that started in Baltimore, didn't work for him. He went back to Arizona and became one of the more dominant setup guys, and now he's really extended his career here in LA.
Well, that fastball once again almost went in and nailed Urshela. Ramirez a little upset with himself, so the catcher Gratterall goes out to calm him down. He had retired 8 in a row before the walk, and he's walked Urshela twice, the number 9 hitter, and that's got Charlie Nagy scratching his head.
Well, that's what you don't want to do. Those are the guys you have to go after and let them, if you have to, let them put it in play. You don't want to walk them, but now that's 4 walks for him.
Bradley Zimmer 0 for 2. Ground out, strikeout. Missed inside. Ball 1.
For Ramirez today, the first time going through the lineup, just 31 pitches. Second time, 34 pitches. But as you mentioned, didn't get a hit that second time through. They had 2 the first time through with 3 walks.
The 1-0.
Now overthrown a little bit and flying open.
Guys, you can see it perfectly from this angle. This ball is running like crazy in one direction, away from the lefties. It's got a little bit of rise to it, obviously, with that high velo. You wonder if Zimmer just stays really patient, one pitch, one spot approach.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? He's been trying to go inside, but he should cut it and have it look middle away. Like that.
He did, and he wraps one in the gap in left center field. That'll go to the wall. Flying into third is Urshela. They're going to wave him home. Simmons throw to the plate. He is out at the dish. He blocked the plate. And Urshela is retired for out number 2. Now the rule on blocking the plate is that if the throw takes the catcher into the lane and he blocks the plate because of the throw, then the umpire will allow that.
Well, that was. And I'll tell you what, that was a pretty good relay throw, too, coming in. Simmons one-hops it, and Gratterall ends up getting it and applying the tag. I thought a pretty good relay. They were going to push the ticket here, and there it was. He had to get over there to catch that ball. Yep. The throw takes him right into that play. There's nothing you can do.
The Indians are going to ask him to take a look at this. And this is a challenge, but I tend to agree with you. It didn't look like he blocked the plate intentionally.
No.
Now, the one thing he did is he did stick that leg way out there, but
I mean, that's how you're trying to. That's how you're trying to go over and catch the ball. Your body's sliding over it. They're in the crouch position.
Guys, it was a great look from out here, and we look at this all the time in spring training in the backfields, and this is what you practice for these kind of situations. Tie ball game. Trout made a great first throw to Simmons, and we know how amazing defensively Simmons is, but his arm, man alive, what a perfect, almost perfect delivery in there. It's a great relay from this look.
No doubt. 2 good throws, and they'll always get a guy. 2 good throws.
Yeah, I didn't think they'd get any relief on this.
No, that was a good relay all the way in.
So the Indians lose their challenge here in the 5th inning.
Well, they had 3 guys thrown out at the plate this homestand.
Edwin twice. And Urshela.
Well, you had to do it. I mean, they're guessing that they're not going to make 2 good throws like they did, but they do. They cut it off. It stays a 1-1 game, but Zimmer is on second base with his 12th double.
Again, on that, for fans who may be wondering, the collision rule is to keep catchers from blocking the plate before they have the ball. If the throw takes them into it, then they are still allowed to block the plate. But let's say he makes the catch out in front of home plate, and then he moves after that to block the plate, well, then the umpire would call him safe because the catcher blocked the plate. And in that instance, though, the throw took him there. He really didn't have any choice. Slow chopper up the gut. Simmons throws him out. So some good defense by the Angels. Keeps this game tied at 1 through 5. Now back here at Progressive Field, it's a 1-1 game as we roll on to the 6th. Top of the order for the Angels, Ben Revere, Mike Trout, Albert Pujols duo. Trevor Bauer allowing a run in the 5th. And he starts the 6th, just over 70 pitches on the day.
Critical inning right here, guys, for his confidence and really where the game can go from here. Rick, you mentioned it. Revere's had his number. Getting out number 1 psyche-wise, huge in this inning.
Jensen Lewis joining us here in the 6th inning. He's out in the Indians live set, which is located just above the bullpens here at center field. And Revere loops one into shallow left for a base hit. So 3 straight innings the Angels have had their leadoff man aboard via the hit. Let's go down to Andre.
Well, Mike Clevenger had a tough start a couple nights ago for the Indians, and it basically became a bullpen game. The next day, Terry Francona talked a little bit about how bullpen games, or games where the bullpen has to go a long distance, how they kind of build a camaraderie for his bullpen and kind of makes a statement for who they are and what they stand for. And because they've had so many of these opportunities over the last year, he feels like that's kind of built their reputation. So when they get in that situation, they're not afraid of it.
And they had success with it last year a couple of times. I mean, when they had to come out in the 1st inning and go all the way, and yeah, I can see that.
It's almost like they feed off of it. And maybe, Jensen, you can relate to this, being part of that. You know, when things go haywire, that's when we collectively are sort of at our best, because everybody's got to chip in and do their part.
Yeah, they don't call us firemen for nothing, guys. And it's all hands on deck in that situation. And the way Tito uses a bullpen, fellas, I mean, we talked about Andrew Miller coming in early in games last year. Brian Shaw pitching multiple innings. Cody possibly flip-flopping with Miller in the 8th and 9th. But it's the guys in the middle, and really, you know, a lot of them don't get credit. They're forgotten people. We had a phrase, relievers are people too. And Otero and McAllister, and now with Sean Armstrong back up here. Nick Goody has been a huge bridge for this group. There's no question you take so much pride in hanging zeros up there anytime your starter has to leave the game.
Mike Trout 0 for 2 today. And Ben Revere dives back in safely. He's stolen 11 out of 14.
Well,
coming in 11 out of 15 now.
Throwing over there now because you know, there's 2 strikes. He may want to throw that breaking ball. And if he does, he wants to bounce it because Trout's a good low ball hitter.
Chopped it foul.
Yeah, the problem you have here now, guys, especially with Trout, who can go to all parts of the ballpark, speed on it first. You know, if you're Roberto Perez and kind of thinking along in the sequence here, you got 2 real good options. You can bust him in hard right here just so you still have the ability, and Roberto's so good at throwing guys out, or you can extend the strike zone a little bit and see if Trout can put something weak on the ground.
Oh yeah, a late call, but Adam Hamari punches out Mike Trout. Third strike. I think that 4th strikeout for Trevor Bauer.
2nd straight time he's got Trout looking. Last time was away. This time it's in. The fastball in, and he's saying it moved in off the plate, but that had some movement to it, and they're still chirping.
I'll tell you what, guys, that's flawlessly executed in that situation. You saw Trout kind of leaning out over a little bit. Perfect angle from right out here, just trying to think along with Roberto. 2 ways to go there. He picks option 1. Brilliant execution.
Now Albert Pujols takes outside, ball 1.
Here's the first one away on the slider. He gets the call on that one. Now he's going to get the call on this one, and I think that's what Trout's barking about. Is he's saying, how can they both be strikes?
They both are, Arch.
Well, I'm not saying they're not, but that's what he's barking about.
That was really well done. You got the best pure hitter in the world right now, thinking on his feet. You've done a good job.
By the way, the home run counter is up to 8 for the Nationals today.
Yeah, they've got 15 runs on the board, I see.
Bryce Harper's hit 2. Zimmerman has hit 2. Wow, I mean, that's just a shellacking.
And they're still 7 short of what Miami did to Texas last night.
Yeah, right. The 1-1 bounced in the dirt.
I want to send along some birthday wishes. Junior Kearns of Clyde, Ohio, is turning 71, and Ella Jones of Sandusky turning 70. Happy birthday to you both.
Ben Revere at first with 1 out. Albert Pujols with a 2-1 count. We saw when he had a 3-1 count, he pulled a ball and almost killed somebody down the left side. That was a perfectly executed pitch at the knees, just on the outside corner, and it's 2-2.
Well, when you hit your spots like this and that ball has a little comeback to it, that's excellent pitch when the guy can't pull the trigger and he has the count in his favor.
And for you young pitchers out there watching, how tall Bauer is on his backside and driving the ball down, it's almost like a roller coaster. You get to the highest point, it allows you to reach maximum velocity and angle. Man alive, that was beautifully thrown right there.
Gonna throw over to first here, drive Revere back.
Something to think about too, guys, from a bullpen perspective. You've used Shaw multiple innings past few nights. You've used Miller multiple innings past few nights. I wonder if Tito's trying to extend Bauer. He's still in a good pitch count area, only at 82 right now.
Bauer's just starting to get loose. He doesn't feel comfortable until he's thrown 100.
He probably went in and said, listen, I know the bullpen's been throwing. Let me get 150 out here. We'll be all right.
If anybody could do it, I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, it's funny though, gents, that pitch count, we've become so almost obsessed with pitch count. Last night we mentioned that Nolasco was at 119, at the highest all year. Sure enough, the last pitch he made went off the wall for a double. Low and away, full count.
I think a lot of that too, guys, is predicated, as Tito and many managers have talked about. It's how you get to that number. And so many times with Kluber, you know, and we saw it in the past road trip where he's been pretty much breezing right through, and he's at 100 pitches after 7 innings. But it's how he got there that Tito felt enough conviction. Hey, go back out there.
And the potential payoff pitch is going to be prolonged here.
Well, if he doesn't take off in this situation with Pujols hitting, because if he does hit a ground ball, you can stay out of the double play, then I'm convinced that the Angels are saying, okay, I've seen enough of these Indians catchers throw.
Well, I'll say this for Pujols, he may be 0 for 13 in the series, but he's only struck out 1 time.
That's why you send him.
And there he goes. And Pujols throws the bat at it, fouling it off.
You know, maybe goes after a pitch out of the strike zone, but yeah, he's not up there. He's not going to swing and miss. You know, you look at the location of this pitch, and I mean, that's down off the plate. That's a ball, but I mean, it's too close for him to take, so he just fouls it off. Great hitters do that.
I'm with Bauer on this. I know he's trying to get a punch out or some soft contact. You go away from anything hard here, you're basically allowing Revere a pretty high percentage to get the second.
Yeah, well, just make your pitch here. You get a ground ball, you can still get the double play.
Ran it in on.
Came in. He's doing a nice job right now. He's making Pujols think up there. Away. This one runs in on his hands. So he's in swing mode now. You want to keep him there. That one a ball too. Look at him. He had to let this top hand off just to get it out of the way.
What you've done here now, Rick, you've expanded both east and west. You've got a bunch of plate to work with and maybe even some black, and you can throw pretty much whatever you want right here.
Again, the runner goes. Ground ball to third. And Urshela checks the runner. Revere throws out Pujols, 2 down.
And that's why you start the runner. He hits it on the ground. If he wasn't going, they had a double play, so at least you move that go-ahead run into scoring position.
So Pujols now 0 for 14 in the series. They have struck him out twice. Cody Allen got him, and I forgot Dan Otero struck him out there in the game last night.
Guys, you saw Berto go out and talk to Bauer here now with 2 outs, and Calhoun, the lefty, up. A pretty pretty much guaranteed that with first base open, and obviously with Simmons on deck being a righty, you've got a lot of plate to work with here. Don't have to give him anything to hit with the runner in scoring position. That'll give you a guy on if you need to add him in and out at any base.
Yeah, he walked him in his first at bat. He got a base hit in his second one. So you're right. Be careful. That's the automatic. Get me over strike one. Curve ball. Hitters aren't going to get after it.
Well, Jensen, you know, we talk about scouting reports and paralysis by analysis you mentioned earlier. What numbers do you take into account when you're facing a guy? Because if you look on the surface, Calhoun came in 4 for his last 31. So that would say, oh, this guy's ice cold. We'll go after him. But you look at the way he's swinging the bat today, doesn't look like that same guy.
Yeah, I want to know percentages of first pitch swing, especially if you're coming in from the bullpen. And where Bauer now, you're getting up to 90 pitches. He's seen everything you got, and he knows what you've got today and what you don't. Bauer also knows where Calhoun wants the ball, especially in run-scoring situations like we're in right now. So a little chess match with Berto Perez trying to get him off balance.
Curveball, and it's hammered but foul.
Oh, got away with a hanger there.
As funny as it sounds, guys, I'm okay with that pitch because now you've got Calhoun so far out in front. Not executed where he wants, no question about it. But you see how far out in front. That gives you a lot of information right there. He wants the fastball, but he's so far out in front that you can really expand in if you want to and keep him from extending the barrel, or you can make him chase away.
I'll go with the away part.
After that foul ball, I understand.
I'll go with the away part on that one and make it off the dish because you still have first base open.
You want to talk it over and be sure.
He's thinking one thing, and that's going to be pulling the baseball. I mean, he had to hit that ball that far.
Jensen, how often does a catcher talk you in or out of a pitch?
Well, I think what you're seeing right here, Matty, this may be a situation of two things. Number one, you're going to go no sign with Revere at second just so they don't have an idea what's coming. But this also might be Berto saying, what do you feel comfortable with right now? If you're feeling good, you are ahead in the count. If you want to bounce one, you can get one right here. But this is kind of a situation where Berto goes and reassures him, listen, bounce it if you need to, but no mistakes in the heart of the plate.
Yeah, you see no sign flashed here, so they already know what they want to do. Oh, he almost hit him with it. Great pick by Perez.
I can't believe he picked that baseball. That was luck, and I'll tell you what, it went right into the glove, and it looked like it might have been a slider to me. It was. It's down at his feet, and I don't know how he even saw the ball, let alone pick it on the backhand.
Delgato behind there.
Holy smokes, that's a good job. It looked like he went with the slider.
Yeah,
I don't know. He
sure
spiked
did.
it.
Yeah, you could see him trying to spin it. Just yanked it. Two-two. Curveball got him swinging. Calhoun went fishing, comes up empty, and Bauer gets his 5th strikeout of the afternoon. The Angels strand a runner in scoring position, middle of the 6th, still deadlocked at 1. 1-1, bottom of the 6th. Michael Brantley, Edwin Encarnacion, and Jose Ramirez due up. Brantley 0 for 2. As flied out, grounded out. J.C. Ramirez starts him off with a breaking ball, and it's a good one in there for a strike. That curveball got a piece of it, but it's 0-2. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning, Andre Knott with you, and Jensen Lewis joining us out beyond the bullpen on the Indians live set. You can see Jensen and Al before and after every Indians game here on Sports Time Ohio.
It's getting warm out here, boys. Thank goodness for the polos today. Thanks, Patty K.
2-strike offering. I was going to ask you, you mentioned it earlier, that the breeze blowing in once again today. Can you get any kind of feel up there if it's affecting the flight of the ball?
Yeah, pretty calm out here, Matty. And you know, for many days, probably earlier in the season, it swirled a bit. But you know, I know Rick can attest to this. The right center gap, especially when I was pitching, it always seemed to really start to blow out around this time of the year, August especially. Just how it was off the lake. But good pitch by Ramirez. He gets Brantley for the first out.
Well, you rarely see Michael Brantley complain or even make a gesture at home plate like that.
You see both teams going, you know, back and forth with them. And, you know, when you do that, it's a matter of consistency. He threw the curveballs, but I'll tell you that. I don't know if that ball was high, but it had the plate. Wow. You know, so Michael might have been saying it's a little bit high.
I'm wanting that pitch.
Well, I said it's
Yeah.
got the plate. It's inside. It's a great pitch after those curveballs.
Edwin Encarnacion walked in the first, fly to center his last time up. That ball's in the dirt. It's 1-0.
So many times with middle of the order bats, guys, it's being able to change eye level. And you know, with Brantley, as consistent as they come as far as putting the ball in play, when you lock a guy up like that, and where the umpire has been calling this today, you feel pretty good here in the late innings that you'll get that call.
Line to left, and Revere will play it on a hop. It's only the 4th hit today for the Indians. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Carlos Santana led off the bottom of the 2nd with a solo homer to center field. Stayed 1-0 until the 5th, when with 2 out, C.J. Cron had a breaking ball, hammered it back up the gut. Cole Calhoun scored. And the reason we're still tied is because in the bottom of the 5th, Gio Urshela was thrown out trying to score on a double by Bradley Zimmer. Jose Ramirez 0 for 2 today. It's a pretty good number on Ramirez. The Indians Baseball Information Department putting out today a note that Ramirez has struck out only 1 time in his last 44 plate appearances.
Man,
so good luck trying to get one by him.
And that's tough late in the game, guys. You know, when you're trying to figure out a plan, especially with guys on base, you know a guy doesn't strike out, he's not going to chase. Boy, that makes your day a heck of a lot more difficult.
Yes, indeed. Well, he looks for a good pitch to hit every time he gets in the batter's box, and boy, when he gets one, he's been hitting it hard. I know he's had a tough series here, but he still finds a way to put it in play and make something happen.
Matt, quick story, guys. You mentioned that's the strikeout totals for Hosey. That one strikeout came last night in the 8th inning before they batted around. His 2nd time up, he didn't wear batting gloves because he didn't agree with what happened the first time in the 8th inning.
So he thought the gloves were.
No, he didn't like the umpire, but he got rid of the batting gloves as soon as he came over here.
Swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Don't try to apply logic to any of this, Rick.
No.
It's Hosey.
It's a thank you, Matt.
See his haircut?
You should have heard what he was saying to Zim after Zim tackled him earlier.
Oh, boy.
Was it Rapidamente or not?
No. No.
1 on, 1 out. Ramirez down on the count against Ramirez. And he fights it off to stay alive.
Here it is. A perfect example. guys, where you're ahead in the count. He's made a couple of good pitches, Ramirez has, and then J-Ram has just found a way to spoil him. It's frustrating as a pitcher because now you're starting to burn pitch count, and even though it is the bottom of the sixth, Ramirez has been pretty efficient on his own. You got to find a different spot now.
He pops it up, shallow left. Out goes Simmons. 2 down. Now Carlos Santana swinging a hot stick of late. The home run in the second inning, but over his last 21 games coming in to today, batting .325, 13 runs scored, 15 runs batted in. So he has been heating up just in the nick of time for this offense.
Use this curveball a lot more going the third time going through the lineup now just to try and get it over for strike one. There's Carlos moving into 11th place all by his lonesome now with that home run back in the second. Good pitch.
Yep. Yeah, and now kind of pitching backwards of backwards the third time through. You've seen the arsenal from J.C. Ramirez, and I think for him, he makes really good adjustments just from watching out here. He's added and subtracted to the breaking ball.
Yeah, he's slowing everything down now, and the hitters are just not ready for it early in the count. They're used to seeing power.
C.J. Cron will flip it to first to end the inning. Jensen, thanks for your time. We'll see you on Indians Live after the game.
Thanks, boys.
Still tied at 1, heading to the 7th. Is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. By the stylish 2017 Kia Optima, and by Smart Path Forward. Lakeland Community College is your Smart Path Forward. Enroll now. Seventh inning and a 1-1 ball game. Well pitched on both sides. Trevor Bauer will have the 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up for the Angels here in the 7th. Andrelton Simmons, Luis Valbuena, and C.J. Cron. Bauer's 93rd pitch of the day is a ground ball foul. Both bullpens are quiet.
Yeah, that's what the managers wanted. They wanted the starters to go out there and let's go, boys. Day game after the night game. Bullpens have been used a lot in this series.
Perfect fastball, knees, outside corner.
And I'll tell you, both of these starters have responded very well. Bauer's given up 5 hits, a run, and the Angels have left 3. Ramirez has given up 4 hits and a run, and the Indians have stranded 5.
In the dirt, 1-2. Right back up the middle. It hit the bag and caroms into center field. So Simmons with his first hit today.
He's having a good series and continues to swing it very well. This one, Bauer had to get out of the way, and then it goes, screeches past him and hits second base. It's a breaking ball away. He gets out of the way, and you can see that ball bounce awkwardly off the corner of second base into left center field. So hit number 6 for the Angels.
And Luis Valbuena, the batter, 0 for 2 on the day.
The 4th straight inning now that they've been able to get their leadoff man aboard. And for Trevor, that was an 0-2 count, and that was the first time that they've been able to get on base. They're 1 for 4 now in that 0-2 situation.
I'm a little surprised only 4 times he's had a hitter down 0-2. Right-hander Zach McAllister begins to loosen in the Cleveland bullpen as Valbuena was swinging for the downs, and on the breaking ball he was way out in front of it, 0-2.
Let him take that swing all the time on that pitch. Take a lot off, and you're trying to time it up and watch him go to the back knee, and still way out in front. He's pulling everything out. He's trying to hit that ball farther than he did yesterday. He's homered in 3 straight games, though. Stay
tuned later today on Sports Time Ohio. Bruce Drennan will break down Valbuena's swing for you. And the 0-2, he hits it the other way. It's fair and down the line. Brantley trying to cut it off. Simmons flying into third, and he'll stop right there. The Angels are set up second and third, nobody out.
Back-to-back 0-2 pitches that have been hit, and he left the curveball up, and Valbuena did not try to pull this one. He just went the other way, but because it was elevated, it made it easy for him. Watch him flip the bat because he knew that's what he was doing. It was easy. So second and third, nobody out, and the Angels are in business here in the 7th.
Bauer trying to collect himself as McAllister heats up in the pen. This is a tough spot now. Indians bring the infield in with nobody out, and C.J. Cron, the batter, drove in a run his last time up with a single up the middle. Fouled right back. Fastball, couldn't square it up.
.67% strikes for Bauer today in his first 100 pitches. But now here comes the important ones.
Broken bat roller to Urshela. He takes the look at the runner, throws out Cron, and everybody stays put, 1 away.
Well, you get that first one. Simmons gonna, mess around at third base. He's an infielder and knows what it's like to play in. You get the out. He made sure he looked him back. We're gonna get a pinch hitter here for the catcher Gratterall. It looks like it.
Well, there's nobody up to bat.
Not
in the
yet.
index circle. So Mike Scioscia says, hold on a second. Looks like Escobar is going to grab a bat. So much for timely.
Well, he may have been upstairs in the cages hitting. You never know. But it is going to be Escobar coming out of the dugout to pinch hit. Yeah, he had to be up hitting because he's coming out a couple of swings right here.
Is number 0, Escobar.
Escobar hasn't exactly lit it up in this series. He does have 2 hits. 2 for 11. Those 2 hits came in the series opener. Last night 0 for 5. Indians keep the infield in. And a curveball in there for strike 1.
Yes, he did.
Bounced it in front of the plate. Did Escobar go? He did not.
It looked like it.
1-1.
Take a look at it from the side. He gets out front and started. No, he held up. Good call. Well, Bauer realizes he's at the end of the line and he's throwing everything max effort right now, and it's been 3 straight curveballs to Escobar.
Curveball fouled back, and it's 2-2.
Everything has been a spinner. It's been the curveball in this at bat. The 4 pitches to pinch hitter Escobar, and I'm sure we'll see another one.
Bauer's 2-2. Another curveball, and he struck him out with it. His 6th strikeout this afternoon. 2 down.
Good job. I'll tell you what, man. He get to second and third. And let's take a look at the sequence and just watch the curveballs. The first one, get me over strike 1, a dandy. Second one, he thought he was going to get him. He didn't check. He missed with that one there, and then he was overthrowing. So he comes back, reels it in a little bit, gets the foul ball, then puts him away. Really well done by Trevor Bauer. Now a good chance to get out of this inning and keep it a 1-1 ball game. And that would be like a Houdini act if you can get out second and third, nobody out. Little team meeting by himself.
Caleb Cowart, the batter, 0 for 2, has grounded out, struck out. Remember, the last time Cowart was up, it was second and third with 2 outs. Same situation. And it was a couple of curveballs to get Bauer ahead in the count. This time it's a low heater, and it's called a ball.
Well, you can see the little tilt to Bauer's head, thinking, hey, man, that was a good pitch.
It was a good pitch.
He thought it was down at the knees, and it had the plate, no question. Good pitch.
How does that not get called? Curveball swung out and missed. It's 1-1.
And that's what Cowart was seeing all day long, the breaking ball. So he started him off with the fastball this time, threw a good one, but he didn't pull the trigger. So now he's back into the count.
Ball to Lindor.
Beautiful.
Throws it out. What a job by Trevor Bauer. Pulls a rabbit out of the hat here in the 7th, and the Angels strand runners at second and third. Bottom third of the Indians order due up here. Martin Maldonado takes over behind the plate. And Brandon Guyer leading off takes ball one. Guyer 1 for 2 with a single.
One of the 4 hits the Indians have today. That's what they need. They need to get that leadoff man aboard. See if they can make something happen. It was the leadoff home run by Santana how the Indians got on the board.
Swung and missed, and it's 2-1. Out goes Maldonado. Offering and a foul right back. J.C. Ramirez with a terrific start here today. He's given up 1 run, a solo homer to Santana in the second. A little bit outside, full count. Off the foot of Guyer. Well, there haven't been any more home runs hit yet in that Washington game against Milwaukee, but they've already equaled the franchise record with 8 home runs today. That was a record that was set when the team was back in Montreal, when they were the Montreal Expos in 1978. They beat the Atlanta Braves 19-0. And in that game, Larry Parrish hit 3, Andre Dawson hit 2, Dave Cash, Tony Perez, and Chris Spire hit the others.
How about
those names? 3-2. He did not go, and it's a leadoff walk. So the Indians have their leadoff man aboard. The only other time it happened was when Santana hit the home run. Well, we're off to Chicago tonight, and tomorrow in the Windy City, Danny Salazar goes against Derek Holland. Our coverage begins with Indians Live at 7:30, first pitch at 8, right here on Sports Time Ohio, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. All right, here we go, Arch. Number 8 hitter, number 9 man on deck. 1-run game or tie game. You bunt here?
Absolutely.
He squares. Bunts it down.
Good job.
Ramirez only play at first. He'll flip it over. Sacrifice completed. So Roberto executes flawlessly there. And the go-ahead run in scoring position.
Well, you can guarantee yourself the promotional items you want this season by purchasing a promo pass for an additional $5, and you'll receive it no matter what time you arrive at the ballpark. Sort of like today when they're handing out the picnic blanket, and you know, you come in here, you could have came in the 3rd inning and got your picnic blanket, and it would have been waiting for you. You didn't have to wait in line, so it's worth the $5 investment.
By the way, this offseason, when you see your man Del Unser, you can ask him about that game because he played. He was in the lineup that day for Montreal. He had a hit.
Del was?
Didn't have one of the homers.
I know he didn't have a homer.
Austin Jackson pinch hitting, and he takes a strike. He's had a good series too. 5 for 8. RBI, 3 runs scored. I mean, how about that? I mean, the guy comes off the DL. And in his first game off the DL, he goes 3 for 4. And then last night, 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and a run driven in.
Yes, sir. Well, let's hope he goes 1 for 1 in this ball game. That probably means they're going to score a run here.
Socha, long time at the Hill, 18th season as the manager of the Angels. Inside, almost nicked him. 2-1. But you know, we were talking about it last night. You pointed it out. Murph talked about it with us before the game, our producer. I mean, Mike Socha is as engaged and involved as any manager you'll see. I mean, last night he was calling every pitch. He was calling throws to first base.
Yep. He's into the ball game, man. No doubt about it. Never leaves that step or that perch right there.
2-1.
You know, and rare is it in today's sports where you'll see a man hanging around one organization 18 years.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because a lot of times in today's world, you need a new voice, is the old saying. But he's been outstanding in his career with the Anaheim Angels, the Los Angeles Angels, you name it. He's been there, and yeah, he's good for the game of baseball.
Two on its way. Maybe. Inside, full count.
Well, he's trying to make that hitter wait a little bit, and you know, it's a pinch hitter. You figure you get anxious, but the veteran is sitting in that batter's box and just waiting for something. He's looking, I think, for something away. He can shoot to right center field. The Indians looking for their first hit today when they've gotten to 2 strikes. 0 for 9, so that first one would be right now would be perfect.
Hold it foul. Jackson still has those quick wrists.
Well, he's staying inside, and I'll tell you, it's a nice reaction to just foul that pitch off. And that's the book on Austin. You try and pitch him inside, make him use those hands. Don't let him throw it the other way.
Angels just now have a right-hander up in the bullpen. Blake Parker is getting loose. Here's the payoff pitch. Whoa, ball 4. Great patient at bat, especially when you consider it comes in a pinch hit situation. You've been on the bench all day, and Austin Jackson is aboard with 1 out, and the Indians have 2 aboard, and we go back to the top of the order. And here again, Rick, we talked about this last night. You know, the Indians are a team with a lot of left-handed bats and a lot of switch hitters who bat better from the left side, and yet because of the organization's decision to send out the only left-hander the Angels had in their bullpen, they don't have a lefty.
Yeah. Well, then that makes it easy. You don't have to warm them up, and you go with the righty is what it does. But that's the 6th walk by J.C. Ramirez today, and the Indians haven't been able to cash that in yet.
Eric Gonzalez running for Austin Jackson at first. He was going to come in and play third anyway, or second, and Ramirez will go over to third. However they decide to defense it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, he'll go to second. Ramirez goes over to third. Right now it's up to Bradley Zimmer, who's 1 for 3, doubled to left center his last time up.
Well, he's had a big series. He's had a big homestand. See if he can add to it here.
Right at 100 pitches. J.C. Ramirez. Nice breaking ball. That's in for a strike.
Well, this is the relay from Trout to Simmons, a one-hopper into Gratterall, and they get the out at the dish. Really, Urshela was running, and that cut off. That would have been a 2-1 game. A great relay.
Zimmer pulls it just foul. Yeah, the home plate collision all but extinct now, so rare to even see one anymore.
I think they had one yesterday in Seattle with the Red Sox. You know, where the same thing happened. Throw takes the catcher up the line, and the runner comes in right into the catcher.
Almost nicked him, and Zimmer just got out of the way. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 2-2.
That's after throwing that slow breaking ball away, figuring I'm not going to keep him from leaning out over the plate. He throws a dart in off the plate.
Big spot here, bottom of the 7th, 2-2 pitch, and he chased one down and in. 2 down. Well, Ramirez needed to make a big pitch, and he did.
Yeah, he goes down and in, and he gets him to chase after it. So a good pitch, his 4th strikeout.
Now Francisco Lindor, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. Outside for ball 1. He's pitched well today.
Yes, he has. He's moved it around. He's only given up 4 hits.
Topped it foul. He did walk 2 in the 1st, and the Indians were unable to take advantage. He's walked 2 here in the 7th.
If he can dodge the 6 walks he's gone out there, that's making the pitches when you have had to. Told you, game 1 of this series, they walked 8 Indians, and 6 of them come around to score. For the Indians this year, they're 2nd in the league in walks now. They have 377.
Well, you talk about the Indians offense, and during the 6-game win streak, they've averaged 8 runs a game. And they've batted .450 with runners in scoring position. They were 27th in Major League Baseball with runners in scoring position when the homestand began. They moved up to 19th coming into today. Ramirez, or rather Lindor, with a base hit into right field. Coming around third, Dyer will score, and the Indians take the lead. Boy, Francisco Lindor with a line drive single to right field, breaking the tie here in the 7th.
Well, they finally break through and get that hit. That's a breaking ball, middle of the plate. And what's Frankie saying to the catcher? He said something. And I think that may do it now for J.C. Ramirez. He was going to get every chance to get out of his inning, but they finally make him pay for the walks. So the Indians take a 2-1 lead.
2 on, 2 out. And Mike Scioscia asks for the ball. And the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen is made. J.C. Ramirez departs. He's on the hook. And we'll be right back. Well, the Indians have surged ahead with a 2-out RBI single by Frankie Lindor off J.C. Ramirez here in the 7th. Ramirez now out of the game, and the new pitcher is right-hander Blake Parker. Parker worked a scoreless inning in the series opener, and he'll be coming on to face Michael Brantley.
Well, that base hit that Lindor got was the first 2-strike hit for the Indians today. They were 0 for 11, and that paid dividends with 2 outs, driving in the go-ahead run.
More importantly, it's the hit with the runner in scoring position, and that's been the theme of this homestand.
Yeah, they've been great at it on the homestand after really struggling the road trip prior.
Lindor bluffs the move. Frankie stole a base back in the first inning. That was off Gratterall. Now Maldonado behind the plate, and Maldonado has thrown the ball well. Indians have had 3 base stealers caught by Maldonado in the series. Lindor takes off. Brantley swings and misses, and Frankie has another steal, his second. Oh, no, he doesn't. That was strike 3. My bad. Inning over. But Francisco Lindor delivers the Indians the go-ahead run with a 2-out single here in the 7th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Our buddy Brent Valenti, who will be getting back to work here in a couple of months with the Cavaliers, produces the games on Fox Sports Ohio for Cavaliers basketball. Well, here we go. Trevor Bauer in a bit of a surprise, back out here for the 8th inning. It's only surprising if you think about it from the terms of he's over 100 pitches. Indians have this great bullpen, but We talked about it last night. Andrew Miller, we didn't think he'd be available today.
He's probably down for the whole day.
Line drive caught by Gonzalez. Eric Gonzalez just into the game. After pitch running, snares the line drive for out number 1.
That's the guy he needed to get. And that's the man that had 2 hits against him. Hit it hard on the nose, but Gonzalez comes in right into the tracks at second base. So they get the leadoff man. That's the first time they had it 4 straight innings where they had the leadoff man aboard.
Figure Andrew Miller down. Brian Shaw, you probably want to stay away from him if you can.
Yep.
Guys have thrown a lot on this homestand. Zach McAllister is up. He's ready if needed. And then Cody Allen, you got him for the night.
We said it early in the game. We said Trevor doesn't get loose until he gets about 90. Look, if there's anybody that you got to push, this is the guy right now in the situations you're in.
Nice play by Santana. He says, I'll take it myself. 2 down.
And what do you know? A couple of pitches, he has 2 outs.
Well, Miller time brought to you by Miller Lite. The job he did getting out of the 7th inning, who knows if this turns his whole season around, but this was an incredible job.
Well, he just jammed him right there. That was out number 1. TJ Crone, and then all of a sudden a breaking ball. He gets pinch hitter Escobar, and then you get the 3rd out. I'll tell you, that's a terrific job. Late in the ball game, trying to keep that game tied. I'll tell you what, that was impressive. Very impressive.
He's just done a phenomenal job today of competing. He's just gone out and he's competed. To me, I don't see a guy who's, I've got to strike everybody out. I don't see that today. I just see a guy who's just gone out and, you know, probably understanding in the back of his mind, I need to go deep into this game.
Well, he's done just that. He's done exactly what he had to do.
Out of play to the right. We talked about it at the very top of our telecast. The Indians have 6 starters. Terry Francona said we're not going to go with 6 starters for much longer. Somebody's going to end up having to go to the bullpen. Well, Bauer has responded with a pretty good argument to keep himself in the rotation.
Solid 8 innings.
Bradley Zimmer settles under it, and Trevor Bauer gives him 8 great here today. Debuts tonight at 11 on Sports Time Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. They're back to work from Berea. Shoulder pads and helmets. Maybe it's only helmets. I don't know. Not allowed to hit anymore, are they?
I know you.
Edwin Encarnacion will lead off the bottom of the 8th with the Indians up a run. Cody Allen getting ready now in the Cleveland pen. Edwin walked in the first, fly it out in the third, and then roped the base hit to left in the 6th inning. So Edwin in his last 7 games now has 8 hits, 9 walks.
Yeah, well,
9 runs batted in.
People, you know, they want to pitch around him. You know, if they want to chase, if he wants to chase, that's what they want him to do. They're not afraid to walk him.
Two and 1 to count. Outside corner, it caught it barely, and it's 2-2.
Well, there you go, right there. He gets the call. Look out.
Look out. Bat goes flying up against the screen.
Nice catch
by the bat boy.
I think he just go put it back in the bat rack. That was 3. He didn't know if he should bring it back out or not. And that's why that net was there. That's a good thing. It was extended. But their heads up over there. Nice play by the bat boy.
Look at the guy. He's like, oh man, I would have had it. It was coming right to me. Might have been missing a couple of teeth, but yeah, you'd have had it all right. Trying to catch one of those twirling bats. No thanks. Jose Ramirez 0 for 3 today. And he grounds one towards second. Coward throws him out. 2 down. Looking back at our storylines today, brought to you by Mazda. Big start for Bauer, and did he respond in a big way? And left-handed hitters against J.C. Ramirez today. Carlos Santana took him deep. Not as much success as we anticipated, but in the end, they have a 2-1 lead. They need 3 outs to get. Francisco Lindor delivering. The tie-breaking hit in the 7th with 2 outs.
Well, you talked about Bauer today. He had 10 outs on 3 pitches or less.
Yeah, his efficiency was really impressive.
You know, second most pitches he's thrown in a ball game. 116 today. Remember back in May, threw 125 against Toronto. Did a really good job with runners on and runners in scoring position today as well.
I guess when you boil it down, Arch, the difference for Trevor today was, you know, he told Andre, I need to throw more strikes. He did throw them, but they were quality strikes. You know, knees at the corner. You know, first pitch curveball a few times to get ahead in counts.
He was good today. When he needed it, he got tough.
The 1-1. Well, as they say, these are good problems to have that the Indians are going to have to figure out how to finagle the rotation.
Friendly competition. You're absolutely right. You're only going to start 5. Well, you have 6, so something's got to give. And something will.
They're 2-1 and a foul back. There's always a chance that they stay with the 6-man rotation for another turn. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, to be determined. I don't think so, because they, you know how Tito likes his bullpen. You got to have, you're short in the bullpen.
Right.
That's not right. You You can't blow that up.
Santana with a ground ball to short. Andrelton Simmons with a backhander throws him out. Indians go in order. Cody Allen will come on and try to nail down a 1-run save when we come back.
For Trevor Bauer in the 9th inning here. The Indians up 2-1 on the Angels, trying to win their 7th in a row. Welcome back, Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. Boy, Trevor Bauer today. He's had some good outings in the past. This might be his best.
Pitching for the rotation livelihood. I mean, exactly what he needed, exactly what this team needed, matching J.C. Ramirez pitch for pitch. Cody Allen now have to make sure we get the leadoff guy out. He's had some traffic the past couple of times. This would be huge to sweep the homestand.
Join us after the game. Indians Live is brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. For the call of the 9th, let's head back upstairs. Matt and Rick, take it away.
Well, that leadoff man will be Cole Calhoun, who has walked, singled, and scored a run today. He's also struck out. Cody Allen for the 42nd time this year. He's 17 out of 18 in save situations, and he has no margin for error here. Cole Calhoun, then Andrelton Simmons and Luis Valbuena in the 9th for the Angels. Trevor Bauer looking on. What a great performance. 8 innings, 1 run, 7 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. 116 pitches, 77 strikes for Bauer today. And now Cody. Curveball, first pitch in for a strike. Little high with a fastball. 1-1. Back out of play. Again, the Royals are idle today. They began the day a game and a half back of the Indians in the standings. Tribe leading Kansas City by 2 in the loss column. Indians brought a 6-game win streak into today. Kansas City has won 8 in a row. The 1-2. Got him looking with a breaking ball.
That was a good one.
Cody Allen strikes out Calhoun to start the 9th. Watch this one dance over the outside edge.
That was a good one right there. Oh boy, tough one to hit. He had the curveball to hit the pitch before he fouled it off. That's a dandy. Out number 1.
Tough one to hit. Tough one to catch, it looked like, for Roberto Perez, trying to make sure that he was able to keep the glove over the plate. Andrelton Simmons 1 for 3 today. 6 for 9 in the series. And that curveball, he was diving and it decked him. Mike Socha just over there shaking his head. The 1-0. Good fastball. Blisters it right over the outside corner. 1-1. Back with the breaking ball, hit in the air to left field. Back is Brantley. On to the warning track, makes the catch. 2 down. Our Pat O'Brien Chevrolet play of the game. Francisco Lindor breaks the tie with a 2-out RBI single in the 7th. I think he and Martin Maldonado will be having dinner anytime soon. He turned and shot him a look, said something to him.
I don't know, whatever he said.
There's some bad blood there. 2 down, bases empty. Luis Valbuena, who is 1 for 3. He doubled in the 7th. Fastball strike gets ahead. Oh, great to see John Adams back here today. Swung on and missed. John was under the weather, missed the game last night, and he was missed by many. But back on his perch, bagging away. The Indians 1 strike away from sweeping the homestand. A little low, 1-2. $28,083, biggest crowd of the series. And the 1-2 pitch. Did he go?
Yes.
He did. The Indians have swept the homestand. They are 10 games over 500, a season best 55 and 45. And they've won 7 in a row overall. Trevor Bauer will get the win to go to 9-8 as you see Valbuena going too far. Cody Allen nails down his 18th save of the year. Losing pitcher is J.C. Ramirez. He'll fall to 9-9. And the Angels will leave town with a mark of 49-54 on the year, and their wild card hopes really starting to fade after the Indians sweep them in the 3-game series. And it's one of those deals where, you know, Rick, if you're the Angels, you limp out of here going, man, we got swept. But they could have very easily won the series opener when they came back from the 7-run deficit and tied it. They very easily could have won last night's game. It was a 1-run game before the Indians blew it open with a 7-run 8th. And then they end up losing a heartbreaking 1-run game here in the finale.
They played them very well. You're right. It was a very good series, but you know the Indians, they were not going to be denied on this homestand. 7-0. They had 2-1 victories, and then they did a lot of damage with hitting with runners in scoring position and able to score a lot of runs. It was just what they needed for their psyche, man. So you come home after a bad road trip, you go 7-0. And it's time to go out on the road, and it's going to be fun.
The Indians have beaten the Angels 8 straight times, 10 in a row here in Cleveland. And the Indians with the second best winning percentage in the American League, now 10 games over the 500 mark. 2-1 is the final. We'll be back with some final thoughts right after this.